Oh, Flintstones, fuck the Flintstones, stupid movie back in '94. Now it's time for sequel or a prequel indeed, yes. Let's see if things now have improved or if it is even worse indeed, 'cause it is the Flintstones. Viva Rocky Rocky Vegas, oh Rocky Vegas, oh what a stupid pun! So this movie is based on the old Flintstones cartoons, which ran from the 1916 to 1966, total of 166 episodes, making it one of the longest shows in that format. Quite the accolade. Personally, for me, I wasn't really a fan of the Flintstones, mostly because that when I rewatched it, especially, I came to the conclusion that the characters were terrible, especially Fred, who was an awful piece of shit, and the animation was clunky, and the story wasn't really going anywhere, and it has aged terribly. And also, in that fateful day of October 1965, they introduced the Great Gazoo, a fucking green alien. Great job, Hanna-Barbera. He was an annoying piece of shit that only Fred and Barney could see, and his annoying antics all but single-handedly killed the entire product. And thankfully we didn't have him in the 1994 version, so we were spared of that. Would you imagine, seeing the Great Gazoo as an actual live-action character? That would be so stupid. Oh shit. Okay, so the movie that was made back in '94 was bad. It wasn't awful, but it was bad. But at least one thing that was a silver lining with that movie was the casting. Rick Moranis as Barney and John Goodman as Fred. Hell, John Goodman actually made him to a character we could almost like. Almost. It's difficult with Fred, but he tried. And that is one of the key elements to why that movie sort of worked. Oh, by the way, they have recasted them. Recasted them? You mean that John Goodman isn't in this movie? Nope. So who they recast him with? Mark Addy. They replaced John Goodman with Mark Addy. Oh God. But Rick Moranis, he's left, right? Nope. So who did they replace him with? Stephen Baldwin from Biodome? Oh my God. Oh God, please let it end. Yeah, great job there, casting directors of all over the world. Oh God. Anyway, but so this movie is a prequel, so it starts before Fred and Barney met Betty and Wilma. Wilma is of course Wilma Slaghoople, or however they're gonna pronounce that name. She is, she comes from old wealth, and she doesn't like being rich, and she wants to be something more, which makes her sound like a Disney princess. I'm surprised they didn't give her a song where she was sing "I want more, la 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 la." That would have been something. She runs into Betty, and they form a strong bond and friendship. One of the movie's few saving graces. They meet Fred and Barney, they hook up with them, they should have murdered Fred, but they don't. And to defy the idea that you cannot make a switch, the original idea was actually that Wilma was going out with Barney and Betty was going out with Fred. And then they switched eventually. Because reasons. Now, Chip Rockefeller is a sleazy guy played by Thomas Gibson who wants the Slaghoople millions. And he sees, of course, a threat in that she's shacking up with Idiot Guy. So he sends them to his hotel in Rock Vegas. His idea is, of course, that they are gonna split up once he show her that Fred is a piece of shit, which is sort of like trying to make the ocean more wet. If the plot just would have been showing them meeting, showing them going to Vegas, it maybe could have worked, because the strong parts of the movie is the visual and seeing the creative ways of getting the caveman technology and the beast home appliances kind of things, which was the best things of the show. But the mad bastards actually made a story where aliens occur, where gangsters happen, where the shady world of casinos are, on display, and filmed basically as a romantic comedy. And this is an absolute dumpster fire from start to finish. Seeing Fred becoming even more of an asshole than he actually is in his normal self is quite astounding. He drags the movie down with him with his awfulness. We all know where this is going, of course. Misunderstandings and tricking people and manipulating people. The cliches are just stapling onto each other, and it is dreadful. In a bizarre circumstance also, we have the fact that they actually recreate the entire sequence of planting steel jewelry on a man from Titanic. Did you know? How can this happen? This movie came out 3 years after Titanic. Didn't they know we were gonna see that one? Do you think we're stupid? Oh God. And then we of course have the great Gazoo, who is interested in human reproduction. That's why he's here on Earth, to study human reproduction. And no, we will not have any steamy caveman sex with Wilma and Betty, you perverts. No. Now he shows up, of course, at exactly the worst situations and the worst circumstances, and he is so goddamn annoying that he actually gives this guy a run for the money. I mean business when I say that. Now, of course, the comedy doesn't work, but that's not a huge surprise. The characters are awful, and the new casting decisions are absolutely terrible. There are, I had a few chuckles in this movie, but that never came from any of the original of the main characters. There were some side characters on the wayside of things that actually made this movie almost scratch that. This didn't help the movie at all. It kept the movie from being even more awful than it already was. I almost longed for the 1994 movie. Or I longed for the 1994 movie almost the entire 90 minutes that this movie existed, because it was so fucking awful. In the end, this is an atrociously awful movie. It has almost no redeeming qualities. It has aged pretty well for being a 17-year-old movie now, due to the fact that the use of practical effects was actually superior to the use of CGI, which makes the movie actually feels a bit legit at times. But to be frankly, and this is also what I could say about the 1994 version, it is a faithful adaptation of the source material. They don't try to alter it too much, which is good, apart from that the movie sucks, but that's another story. The 25-minute runtime the original had worked for it. We have triple that in this case. It doesn't work, surprisingly. I wonder why. Children might appreciate this one, but I don't know. I seriously doubt it. Even that. This movie is basically for nobody. Adults won't like it because it shits on their nostalgia. Children won't get it because it is too strange, I guess. People who liked The Great Gazoo, fuck you. They will probably never make another Flintstones movie again, due to the fact that it was such a huge box office bomb. If they ever do, they will probably, tweak the characters around to fit a more modern era. I don't know if that's going to improve or not, but they're going to work pretty hard to make a worse movie than this one, because hands down this is one of the worst movies of the year 2000. So after this burial of atrocious awfulness, you would probably assume it will get an even lower score, but 10 is still a very low rating for this one. It is awful. Awful, awful, awful. Oh yeah. Before I go, let's talk about the God button. Rockefeller has a button in his office which is said to win and lose. And when he flips it, he controls whether or not people win or lose. This is one of his schemes to make Fred look like an asshole. But if the mob tries to shake him down for money, and he has a button that basically turns him into God, why does he have any money problem? There's probably some, convoluted reason for it, but don't even bother with that one. Ooh. Oh God, what horrible it is. I got a bad taste in my mouth with this one. The Vikstrand is signing out.